Hey, this is Chris, and welcome back to the Popcorn Finance Back to School series. This is week 3 of a 5-week series where each week I'm joined by a great guest, and we take a look at college from a different angle. In today's episode, we'll be talking about making a wise financial decision when it comes to choosing your college and your major. Today, I brought in a special guest, Cody. He is from flytofy.com. He's all about achieving financial independence, but he also has some great tips for those of us who are looking at our career choices and kind of what that means for college and paying down loans in the future. So, Cody, how are you doing today?
Doing great, Chris. Thanks for the intro.
Thanks for coming here and joining me. What really made me interested in talking to you about this topic was a blog post that you wrote called The Ultimate College Guide. You mentioned a lot of different things you can do to lessen the impact of the cost of college, you know, whether it's choosing between a state school or private school, some scholarship options, maybe even going to a community college, but instead of just going straight into a 4-year, because that's definitely less expensive. And so one thing that really stood out to me, though, was the point you mentioned about choosing your major and kind of the career earnings outlook. And if you have to take out a student loan because college can be expensive, you know, how long that would take you back using like a modest repayment percentage. So, would you mind telling us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, definitely, Chris. So I just want to start this off by saying in 2018, you don't need a college degree, even to earn a 6-figure income. There's people doing coding, doing trade jobs. There's so many options out there, and there's so much self-learning platforms on the internet that if you don't want to go to college, you don't have to. As long as you have the drive and motivation to really learn something, really get into the nitty-gritty and get good at it, someone's going to hire you. So I just want to start with that. But if you are set on college and you definitely want to go, career choice is definitely one of the things you want to consider in terms of your financial position. And I'm not saying you should choose X major over Y major just because you're going to make more money and you're going to pay your student loans back faster. Like maybe you really, really like knitting and it might not be the most profitable career, but if you love it, you love it. And I just want to say that I want you to understand where you're at from a financial standpoint before you make the decision. So at least be informed and make that choice from a position of strength, not from a position of mystery.
No, I like that. That's a great point.
So on my blog post that you mentioned, I put 3 scenarios on there. And the first guy was a radio announcer. And this was one of the lowest median income jobs in the U.S. in 2017 at $31,400. That's with a college degree. And assuming a 5% savings rate, which is the U.S. national average, it took Reggie Radio, the radio announcer, it took him 20 years to repay $40,000 in student loans. And I mean, that's a really long time. Maybe Reggie loves his job. Maybe he makes people laugh on the radio every day. But it's just something to consider. He's in debt for 20 years. This is assuming he's an average guy. He's an average Joe. His 5% savings rate, he takes the average amount of student loans out for his degree. But yeah, I mean, it's a long time. And so, yeah, so then I took a look at Techie Tanya. So Techie Tanya is a software engineer. She also graduated with $40,000 in student loans, is the U.S. national average for that major. Her annual salary starts at $103,000, a little higher than Reggie's $31,000. So Techie Tanya's in a lot better financial position than Reggie. She's able to pay her student loans back in 7 years using that same 5% savings rate. And so, like I said again, it's not that you have to be a technician or a software engineer or one of those super high-paying jobs, but you know that you're in a position of financial strength from a student loan perspective.
For you, when you're looking at these samples, I know you said, you don't want to choose your career, just solely on earnings potential because you want to actually be happy in whatever it is that you do. But what is your recommendation then? Is it that people look at maybe looking at cheaper educational like options if they are going into a career that doesn't pay as much, or looking at other ways to finance their education?
Yeah, so I think that's a really good point. And I know this is College Month on the Popcorn Finance podcast. You'll have a bunch of other great guests on with tips and tricks about this. I'll just sweep over them quickly. But I mean, scholarships, AP and CLEP exams, community college, dual enrollment. There's so many tools, very powerful tools from a financial standpoint that can help you eliminate and drastically reduce the cost of college. So if you really do want to go for that doctor degree, there are ways you can reduce the bill so you don't come out of school with $200,000+ In 2017, $208,000 was the median for medical school. And I mean, that's a lot of money. So you're just going to be smart. And I just want you to understand the financial implication of your decision. I mean, being a doctor is a great thing. You're saving lives. But just understand that it might take you a long time to pay back that debt if you're not smart about how you're financing college and how you're paying back that debt.
Yeah, and I think another option too. So say you're like, I have a passion and this is something I'm really interested in. This is something I would like to pursue. But at the same time, I know that maybe like the potential for earnings is not that great. You've looked at the outlooks, earnings are on the lower side. I think looking into like side hustles or other business ventures you can do on your own to supplement that, to allow you to follow your passion, I think is also an option. Because like what I loved about your site was you mentioned that, when you're chasing your dream of financial independence, that you started like several businesses and you actually found one that ended up being successful for you with Arsenal Discs, right? Am I saying that correct?
Oh yeah, no, you're completely right. And that's definitely a whole other podcast episode. I could ramble on for an hour and a half about side hustles. I mean, I'm super into like diversifying your income streams and having as many income streams as possible. So if one dries up, you still have more money coming down your financial waterfall.
Yeah, exactly. And then you give yourself options. When you're not tied to just one source of income, you have the ability to say, I'm gonna go out on a limb, I'm gonna try something new, do something maybe that is unconventional, but you have the security of knowing that, I can pull in money from different areas and not be reliant on one place or one field or industry to bring in my income.
Oh, for sure. And it's so powerful having that financial leverage. So say you do have that low paying job, and I mean, like we're both doing. You have Popcorn Finance. I have like my blogs and some other side hustles and stuff like that. And it just gives you so much more leverage when the boss doesn't control you. You control your own finances. You're your own boss.
Exactly. And I think that'll be great for those of you out there who are, looking at your college options, whether it's for you, whether it's for a family member, and you're kind of trying to plan things out and figure out how much you should spend on college or what you expect to earn. Just know that, you have options. You have some great examples like Cody out there. You can go follow him over at Fly to Fi and see how he's handling his finances, see some of the options that are out there that are maybe not talked about as much, to give you some alternatives to follow your dreams and do something that you're really going to enjoy down the road.
Yeah, no, thanks, Chris. I really appreciate that. I mean, yeah, I'm just doing what I think is best, living an intentional life, trying to get to financial independence as fast as possible, so I can just pursue my dreams, just like you said it.
Sure. And, I'm very impressed by you, Cody. You just recently graduated from college yourself, and, you have this goal that you talk about a lot on your blog about reaching financial independence within 10 years. And so, where can people learn more about your story, what you have going on, and connect with you and kind of follow all the things you're doing?
Yeah, so they can reach me on my blog at fly2fi, so that's fly2fi.com. Just hit me up on the contact form. I'm pretty active. I'll probably get back to you within the day. So yeah, if you have any questions, anything you want to talk to me more about hacking the cost of college or career choices, anything like that, yeah, just reach out.
I've been enjoying what you're doing. I'm definitely going to keep up with what you're posting over there, get some more good info on my journey to learn more about this financial independence world.
Awesome. This is a blast. Thanks, Chris.
I really love today's conversation because, I myself changed my major when I was in school, and I don't know if I talked about this. I feel like I might have, but, long story short, I went into college as an art major, and it was a combination of, not really being passionate about what I was doing, along with being concerned about, the economic outlook, because I did graduate right in the middle of the recession back in, 2009, I think. So, I had to make a judgment call, and, I ended up changing my major to finance. I actually did enjoy the topic of finance, but I felt more confident that I'd be able to support myself and cover any costs that I would have once I got out of school. But I'm definitely not suggesting you don't go with your passion. I think it's very important that you do something that you enjoy and that you love. And I was fortunate enough through this side hustle of this podcast, this hobby that I have, this thing that I enjoy, to be able to still use my creative side, but also take what I learned in the finance field and in school and at work and kind of bring it all together. So there's nothing wrong with choosing something you enjoy, and there's definitely nothing wrong with choosing a less expensive school to be able to achieve that goal. And if you need a little help with the cost of college and you haven't checked out last week's episode, please do, because I was joined by Pam Andrews and we talked all about scholarships and, more importantly, actually winning one of those scholarships. Next week, I'll be joined by Robert Farrington from The College Investor to help answer a very special listener question and help give you a few tips to help you tackle your student loans. If you've been enjoying the Back to School series and this podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It makes a big difference, helps the show gain some exposure. Plus, I really enjoy reading everything that you guys put out there. So if you leave a review, I'll definitely give you a shout out on the show. So thanks again for joining me here for another bag of popcorn. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Your boy keep it poppin' like Mary Poppins.